Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to take a look and actually shoot, we're going to shoot this guy, the Evolution Weapon Systems Bufferless Bulk Carrier Group. Let's get into it. Alright, so Bufferless Bulk Carrier Groups. I have not seen a whole lot of these and have never really been super interested in these kind of things because up till now, there's not really been any companies that did it really well. There are a couple companies that made some AR systems, right, that ran off a shorter spring system buffer deal that's like relocated different. It didn't work really well as far as I understand. Now, there's some other systems out there that are not AR, right? They're not that platform that work great, right? You have the SIG MCX. That's kind of an AR, but that's a completely redesigned upper receiver, right? You have the Brownells, I think it's the BRN4, is that right? The BRN something. Again, completely redesigned system, right? It doesn't need the standard buffer tube and buffer spring and buffer. It uses another system, but it's a completely different upper. You can't just retrofit your system to work, right? Well, nowadays, there are two systems out there. There's one by Law Tactical, and today we're going to talk about the one from Evolution Weapon Systems. And what these guys do specifically is you do have to change a couple parts on your current firearm, but these basically replace the buffer tube, the need for the buffer tube, and your bolt. It combines everything together to where you obviously can see this has springs on it, so that's where the semi-automatic action comes from. It's not a bolt action, it's not single shot, right? That's how this thing works, and it's how it can work, but it doesn't need that buffer tube, right? It doesn't need that. Neither one of those systems, neither one of these systems need that. So this is an interesting system. I bought it about 2 years ago. It's the major wrench in the monkey works for this system, or for this company, is that it has taken a long time to get this product, but today's the first time we're actually going to shoot it. I've had it for about a week. I've played with it around. I played around with it, whatever. And I've put it on different things, and it looks really cool. But today we're going to see if it actually works. So we're going to run it on a 6-inch 300 blackout. We have 10.5-inch 5.56, a 16-inch pinned 5.56, and a 20-inch 5.56. And I'm saying 5.56. I'm really shooting 223 out of it. It's a weaker load, basically, so it's not as punchy. And what they do suggest, and I'm kind of going on a risk here, they do suggest, Evolution Weapon System does suggest that you run a adjustable gas block, right? We'll see how it runs and works. I have one system with an adjustable gas block. All the other ones are not. So hopefully we don't break anything. All right, let's go ahead and start with 300 blackout, then we'll work our way up through the 223 5.56 guns. Okay, so here we go. Forward battery runs out and everything. This came pre-greased, the bulk carrier group, bulk carrier assembly, whatever you want to call this thing. It came pre-greased. I didn't put any extra oil on it, so we'll see how it runs. This is a 6-inch 300 blackout, 3 supers and 3 subs. All right, chamber, yep, we got one in there. There is no forward assist, right, if it doesn't chamber. No forward assist. 300 blackout. 3 supers, 3 subs. Let's see if it works. All right. It ejected. We got a click. Didn't go forward all the way. Let's see. One more super and then some subs. Alright, well, it did not lock open. That was the last round. It did not lock open on that. Let's see if it locks open on this. Alright, we have 1 super left. Let's see if it locks open. Actually, let's see if it'll cycle, if it'll lock open on a unsuppressed system. There you go. So unsuppressed with a super, it locked right open, and there you go. All right, so that's cool. Yeah, so with those subs, it seemed to be fine. The supers, it had a little hiccup in there. It had a hiccup. What can I say? Had a hiccup. I don't know. Maybe it's, who knows what it is. But let's go ahead and throw this on another system. All right, now we have a 10.5-inch AR. Didn't get all the way back on that one. There we go. Now he's in there. 10.5-inch AR, unsuppressed. Let's see if this guy works, and then we'll suppress it. Nope. Click, no bang. just not, I don't know, it's clicking, but it's not, I guess the bolt's not forward all the way maybe? Let's see. Try that again. If it's doing that thing, then it just needs to go into battery all the way. There we go. Try it again. That guy failed to pick up around. Failed the chamber. Alright, so he's not wanting to work. Failed to chamber all the way. Bolt didn't go forward all the way, or the carrier didn't go forward all the way. So it's almost working. Let's suppress it. Let's see if suppressing it makes any difference, because that can really shake stuff up if you suppress it. Alright. Alright, so here is the Sierra 5. See, it's not going in all the way. Sierra 5 with the 223. Let's see if that makes any difference. Well, there we go. So it wants to be suppressed. That's what it seems. That's what it seems. Just wants to be suppressed. All right. So that's this guy. Let's throw it on a 16-inch. All right, here's a 16-inch. It chambered. All right, let's see if it cycles unsuppressed. Very nice. And he is tuned. This has the adjustable gas block. He is tuned primarily for this weak stuff to run suppressed. So it should, in theory, work just as well suppressed. Let's try that. All right, seems to be cycling. Let's put it on a 20. All right, here's 20. Didn't want to chamber. There we go. Pushed it forward, seemed to be in. See if it cycles unsuppressed. All right, seems to be fine. Put a suppressor on it. All right, suppress 20 inches. Seems to be just fine. All right, guys, so that's a quick little look at the, almost said the other brand, the Evolution Weapon System Bufferless Bolt Carrier Group. Let's run back to the shop. Let's look at this thing. I'll kind of show you a couple more things about it and just kind of give you some initial thoughts after having it out and shooting it and stuff, right? So let's go back to the shop and talk about it. Okay, we are back here at the shop. Let's talk about this thing. The Evolution Weapon System, I don't know if they have a specific like nomenclature name for it, but they're Bufferless Bolt Carrier Group. We tore it all apart. We cleaned it up as like a rough clean. I'm not super taking every single little bitty thing apart and trying to like detail clean it, but I am cleaning it because I don't know how much it showed on the video, depending on how I edited it and everything, and I didn't shoot every round on camera and stuff. It had some cycling issues, right? A little bit, not a whole lot. It was mainly magazine related because it was one specific aluminum magazine that I had that was giving some feeding issues. Once we changed that out and went to a PMag, seemed to be good to go. Also, it is a little bit snappy. And what do I mean by that? I mean, depending on the system that you're running it on, it might be a little bit more punchy, maybe, than some other systems that are out there. Enough to slightly notice, but not enough to be like, oh, wow, that's like a direct blowback 9mm. No. It's not like that. It's not like a direct blowback 9mm. Those are significantly thumpy, right? For whatever reason. This was not like that. It was just a little bit more. It was different than a standard AR-15 cycling system, right? It was better than that, but it was thumpier in a different way. It was different. It was different. Basically, all I'm trying to say was it was different. Again, I'm not sure how everything showed up, how everything was edited and all that. This system does not have a forward assist, all right? I think you can see everything down here. This does not have a forward assist. So if you load in a standard way where you put the magazine in and you charge the charging handle, most times it was not fully seating that cartridge into the chamber. I'm not exactly sure why. It was like basically if you had a forward assist, you could pop it and you'd be good, right? Since the forward assist doesn't work on this system, you could sometimes push it in with the little notch on the that's technically, from what I understand, what this original notch really is for. You can stick your thumb on that notch on the bolt carrier group and push it forward. So yeah, you could do that most of the time. Sometimes you didn't want to go. If you had that problem, take out your magazine, pull your charging handle back about halfway, let it go, and then 99% of the time that fully seated. And then once that was seated and everything was good, load your magazine. It didn't have a problem after that. Generally. Now with some loads, some of the 300 blackout loads, and again, I'm not sure if it was magazines or something else, or it's just a brand new system, a twofold brand new system, like brand new, like as far as I know, this might be their Gen 2 bolt carrier group, maybe, but this is the first one that's really hitting the market necessarily from Evolution Weapon System, and also it's new to me, right? So it needs to be worked out, it needs to be shot, it needs to be cycled, rough edges and stuff. I mean, case in point, I just shot it today, and there's already some markings and stuff right down here, and I was getting, I can't remember which system it was. I think it was the 10.5-inch gun. I was getting some trigger slap, right? But that was, no, it was, yeah. I was getting some trigger slap, and this is not the best trigger I have in here. This is just a mil-spec trigger. Another system that I had, which you probably already know what it is, it had a Geisley trigger in it. No trigger slap, very easy. So I have a nicer trigger coming for this lower that this whole thing runs in. Hopefully that deals with that problem. I think it's just a trigger problem. I don't think that's a bolt carrier group problem, right? I'm just fully divulging everything out there as best that I can. So let's kind of look at this. Let's kind of look at this a little bit. The recoil system all is right here, right? So you have two springs and like two guide rods, all right? And then about halfway down, or really depending on how you look at it, however far down, you have this piece right here that transitions into a flat coil spring, right? Flat wire spring, however you want to call that. And honestly, the way that this thing felt, like I said, it was different than your standard buffer system, right? It was a little bit snappier than another system out there, depending on which setup you had it running in, right? Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I think that has mostly to do with why they say you need to use you need to use an adjustable gas block. So it could be over-gassed and it's really thumping. Now, even shooting these things, I didn't notice a bunch of brass going out forward. So your typical over-gas situation is going to throw brass forward. Most of this stuff was out to the side or out kind of behind me. It seemed to be fine. But in a lot of the systems, like the 10.5-inch, like I said, where it was getting some trigger slap, a lot that seemed to, maybe if that had an adjustable gas block in it, it would tame it down a little bit, and maybe that would fix some of the problem. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just speculating, throwing stuff out there. But that's what you got as far as your buffer system right there. Your bolt carrier, this is where they got interesting, okay? You have a standard gas key, right? So you got a standard gas key on here, and then they really went to town. They really did some stuff on here, right? There's a spring on the inside here with like this collar, okay? And that's held with there's basically a pin that runs this way right here, and that holds this system in. What this does is this is where your firing pin would travel in here, and it gives it basically kind of like my understanding, the HK416 and some other systems that have a spring that keeps it helps prevent slam fires, basically is my understanding of it. It keeps that firing pin back, right? So it can't just slam forward and poke out and pop a primer. Can't do that, right? I kind of like that. That's kind of neat. That's neat that they involved that in here. I'm not sure exactly if they had to do that, but they did it, and that's cool. It does have, along with this system, well, if you put the firing pin in there, this little carrier piece back here is kind of interesting, but this little carrier piece, let me see if I can get it to go in here right. Yep, goes in here like this, okay? And it's locked in place by your standard, I forget the term, is this a cotter pin, whatever this little pin is, right? That holds the firing pin in, right? You kind of push the firing pin forward, and this guy will slide in the exact same way every other one of a standard mil-spec bolt carrier group works, right? So that's a standard piece. Your firing pin is a standard piece. That is very nice because if it was a proprietary one and you happen to break one, good luck finding, good luck getting a replacement in 2 years, right? Or however long it's going to take them to get your replacements. But this is standard. This is standard. Another 2 standard pieces in here that I'm very glad they're standard pieces. They didn't do anything different on them, as far as I can tell. Is your actual bolt. This is the one that ships with the MPI 556 and 9310 bolt, right? And this has, I took apart the extractor, and I mean it has the big donut. I'll take it apart right now. Why not? Everybody's gonna be like, no, it doesn't. You made that up because you didn't show it on camera. Okay, well, here for all you naysayers. All right, for all you naysayers and folks out there, this is what I'm talking about. This is the extractor, right? It has the donut, right? So the big rubber, I'm going to drop everything. I'm not going to do it. It's got this big donut thing, right? It's your big rubber donut. And then it has your spring. I'm just going to hold it close to the camera. It's got a spring, right? And then on the inside, it has another, like a rubber, whatever you want to call it, plug or whatever. So it's kind of like 3 redundant systems. 3 times redundancy, right? This is a very, very good upgrade that they did, in my opinion, because used to, they just aren't all done like that. They could have just skimped out and given you the cheapest dang little bolt and then been like, well, if you want to upgrade, it's mil-spec, you can upgrade however you want to upgrade. But they didn't do that. They gave you what seems to be, to me, as far as I can tell, a good quality bolt. All right, and then your cam pin, that's mil-spec as well. There's nothing really special about that. So really, some pieces and parts on here that can fail and break and stuff are mil-spec, right? The pieces that are not mil-spec are the carrier itself, right? And then this recoil system, right? This system is not mil-spec, right? The key on here is, so you have the potential, and I talked to them about it a little bit, they want you to run an adjustable gas block on the systems you run this on. Well, I ran it by them that you can get an adjustable gas key and replace this piece and make this piece adjustable. So you could adjust the actual key, the actual carrier, you can adjust it so that you don't have to run adjustable gas blocks in all your systems, because not everybody wants to replace all their systems. But if you replace the system in this, then that's one system to replace. So I have one of those. I'm probably at some point going to put that in here. I'm going to run this for a while and see how it works by itself. But then I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to pull this guy out, put an adjustable gas key on here, and then just see if that just works. If that works some of these couple little issues out. And that's why I want to run this guy raw the way that he came and see if it works itself out, if it's just a break-in period, right? Because I don't want to adjust something, put another system in here, right? And throw a wrench in the monkey works and then be like, well, it doesn't work. Well, does the system not work, or does the piece that I put in not work? You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to run this raw, run it how it came for a good little while and see if it kind of works itself out and starts just running normal, right? And when I say it's having some issues, it's not a lot of issues. It's your standard, like a brand new system that you got to kind of work the kinks out of, and then basically you just got to shoot it, right? You got to shoot it, or lap everything basically, and then it works. It seems to be fine. Also, temperature-wise, right? It was kind of cold today, so when things get really cold, the oils and the greases and different things get a little bit, not as viscous, and so stuff gums up a lot easier. So that can be part of the problem as well, right? So I'm gonna throw this guy back together, and then we'll just kind of give some final thoughts on this guy. Okay, so this system right here, the Evolution Weapon Systems Bufferless Bolt Carrier Group. What do I think about it after one outing? Right? After one outing, I will say I'm very glad that I bought one. Right? Even though it took it 2 years to get here, a long time, I'm very glad that I have one because I really think it has a lot of really cool potential. So really cool potential about it is that you get to use whatever system back here that you want to use. You're not tied into even having to use a standard receiver extension or buffer tube, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to use that. As you can see, I have an MCX, a SIG brace on here. You can't do that on some of the other systems, or if you do, it's just, it's a little bit more funky, right? This is very smooth. The way that this thing works just seems to be very, very well thought out. It's well worth the wait, in my opinion. The wait, the waiting time. Well worth it, in my opinion. Cleaning it was pretty simple. I'm not sure if their coating has anything to do with that. I mean, we shot it and we put a lot of like lithium grease, and it already came packed with some grease and stuff in there. I sprayed lube on it because it was cold. Everything was gumming up. I was trying to just keep everything lubricated and stuff. Generally, what I like to do whenever I have a new system, I'll run it as dry as I can, and that just kind of helps like sandpaper. It just kind of helps lap everything together quicker, kind of it accelerates the wear so that you break it in a little bit quicker. You can see where the wear marks are. You can see what's going on. But with it being the weather that we have and everything, I tried to keep everything lubed and hopefully everything worked as best as it could. But anyway, hopefully everything worked the best that it could. Yeah, it worked well. I will say that it worked well. It wasn't excellent. It worked well. And since it's a new system, I'm okay saying that. I feel like that's perfectly fine. If this worked like 100% out of the box, every configuration, I'd be flabbergasted, right? I'm not sure I have any firearm that really does that. I mean, I'm shooting Wolf 300 Blackout Supers. I'm shooting Tula 5.56. The subs ran really well, and those are S&B, so that makes sense, right? Quality ammo, right? But I run mostly sub-quality ammo through my systems, and most of the time, not everything works all the time, so there's that to be considered as well. One of the major pros to this system that I see is the fact that you are tied into this ring in the back, right? This plug that goes on the back here. I thought initially when I bought this that you could use any receiver plug, right? They make different companies make different ones. My understanding is that you need to use theirs, right? And if you buy their system, just buy it with it. You can purchase the bulk carrier group without this 1913 adapter on the back. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can purchase it with it. It's not terribly too much more. Comes out all about the same as other systems that are out there, so just get that, and then you can run whatever kind of attachment you want to run back here. I'll just leave it that way. But I really do like that, and I like the fact that you don't have to do anything else to your upper. You can pop this into any standard direct impingement upper that you might have. As far as I know, I don't think there's any real big caveats to that. 300 Blackout and 223. You saw that I took out the bolt from the carrier. What that also means is you potentially, and I'm not sure if they say you can do this or not, potentially you could put a 7.62x39 bolt in this system. Now, if I think you'd be perfectly fine doing that if you were for sure to run an adjustable gas block and tune it correctly so you don't automatically just throw it in and overpressure everything and just slam the system to death, right? I think that's why they want you to use an adjustable gas block. But the potential is there. I mean, the potential is there. Anything that fits in a standard AR-15 bolt, right? They make those bolts for different calibers, right? Not just 5.56 and 223. There's different calibers that fit that form. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. There's potential there. There's potential there. Now, they don't advertise that, but I'm saying that's potential there. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that this is a system that is not, you're not so tied down to it that you can't change or adjust or do anything to it. No, it has flexibility. It's a little bit fluid, which I like that. That's really cool. So anyway, guys, that's my real first outing impressions, right? I already did the unboxing overview. Now this is more getting some time with it. And really, we're going to get some more time with it. I really like the 300 Blackout look, or not look, but the potential for 300 Blackout, because you can get you can literally get an AR pistol and actually use this thing as a pistol. You can get a shorter barrel on here, not have any attachment back here, and this thing looks like, with it that way, this thing really looks like a Star Wars blaster thing. It really does. It really does. Depending on how you have it set up, you could really make some cool get-ups of this kind of thing. But maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll figure that out as time goes on. And we're going to continue running this thing, all right? If you guys got any questions about this system, right, please do let me know. If anybody else has bought one of these and is waiting on it, I'd love to hear from you. If anybody else has one that you finally got it shipped to you, I'd love to hear back from you too, because maybe now orders are actually being shipped. I don't think I'm anything special that they sent me mine early. Because it wasn't early. It was 2 years later. Right? So I would think that people are starting to get their orders and stuff now, I would think. And I have no idea. I have no idea if you bought one now, when you would expect it. I have no idea. I would definitely reach out to them and ask them, right? Over on Instagram is the best place I've been able to get a hold of them. But you can also shoot them emails and stuff like that if you really want to. But anyway, guys, that's the Evolution Weapon System Bolt Carrier Group, Bufferless Bolt Carrier Group. Appreciate you guys hanging around here. Again, ask questions if you got them. Check out our links below if you really want to check out stuff and Patreon and Teespring and all that kind of stuff. But that's it. All right, y'all be good to be safe. Appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, and everything. And hopefully we'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.